She printed out my finsta pictures and put them on my doorstep. I'm blonde. So first things first, elephant in the room. This was a really impulsive decision of mine. And yeah, now I'm blonde, so I need water. Today, I'm going to be telling the story about how my finsta got 100% bopped. Now, bopped means, in Delaware, at least where I live, where I reside, it means like busted, or like if the cops come to a party, oh, the party's bopped. You know what I mean? So, my finsta got bopped when I was in 11th grade. It was February 10th, 3 days before my birthday. My birthday is February 13th. So it was a really fun birthday that year. When I turned 17, I was having a great time. Okay, so basically growing up, my parents were very strict. Not in like the worst way possible. I couldn't go to the mall or the movies without a parent, or typical like kid things I couldn't do without a parent. And like in middle school, I absolutely like despised my mom for it. Like I was like, you're like the worst ever, you don't let me do anything. Like my parents being very strict kind of caught up to me as a human being, and I started getting very sneaky and I started doing things that I shouldn't have done. Okay, so first I'm gonna explain what finsta is. So it's basically, I know like pretty much everyone's like, I know what finsta is right now, but I just need to explain it for the people that don't know what it is. Or like my mom, who is watching this right now, who didn't know what it was, but you know what I mean, like just like older people that are watching this that don't know what finsta is. Okay, so finsta is basically on Instagram, but it's like another platform that you have where you kind of post like your like personal issues and you cry, and you're supposed to only let like people that you are really close with follow them, or just people that you trust. So I didn't really understand that, and I let like 350 people follow my finsta. So, that was issue number one. So when I was a junior in high school, I had a few friends that went to University of Delaware, and I live like 15 minutes from University of Delaware. It started off with me and my one friend Martina. I know she doesn't care if I say her name in this. We would go to UD, I would say twice a weekend for like 5 months straight. We were sneaking out and going to UD. Our parents didn't know. We were lying about where we were. Like it was really, really bad. But you know, we're living now. And then my other friend, Grace, started coming out with us. And this happened for, I'd say, 6 months. Yeah, it took 6 months. We would go out, do crazy stuff. I would post about it on my social media, or on my finsta. And people were always like, oh my god, like, let me come to UD with you. Bring me to UD with you. Like, da-da-da. And I would really only bring Grace and Martina. Those were the two that I would like stick to, because I knew if a lot of people started going, then it would get out of hand. And you know, so I was still like a little smart about it, right? One day, I'd just gotten to Grace's, and I had, you know, I had the goods. We were about to go out. We were about to go to UD, and I was just telling my mom that I was going to Grace's, and Grace was telling her mom that she was just going to Jenna's. So, I have all my notes on this, so that's why I'm like waving this around. I get a text from my mom. I knew what I was doing, and I knew what I was posting, so I was always like, oh my god, like my mom's gonna flip out, like she's gonna find out somewhere. And we weren't that close at this time, so any text that I got from her, I was like, I was gonna cramp. Ow! You eat bananas. Get that potassium. So I get this text from my mom, and I'm like, crap. This is a really bad feeling about this text. I open it up, and the text reads, I know everything. Get home now. Heart in the asshole. Just completely like, holy nutsack. She knows. Wow, but I'm freaking out. Now I'm laughing about it, but at the time I'm like, start crying. Grace comes out to the car and I was like, Grace, you gotta take all this stuff. Like, you gotta go back in your house. Like, I'm sorry. Like, my mom just told me to come home. I'm freaking out. So then I started driving home and I called my mom, because I was like, all right, I need to know like what I'm, you know, like getting myself into. What am I about to confront? So I call my mom and she's crying. And my mom doesn't really cry that easily. I get that trait from her. I don't really cry easily either. I was like, holy crap, this is serious. She really does know everything. Pull into my neighborhood. A cop is pulling out of my neighborhood. So I'm like, oh my god. Holy crap, the cops got involved. Something happened at a frat that I went to. Like, my mind's going insane. So I get to my house, and I remember when I get to my house, I used to live in townhouses, so I'd park like at the end of the street because there was no parking. I remember seeing this like white car sitting where I've never seen a white car sit before. I didn't really think anything of it, but like now that I think about it, I can recall it. I walked up the street, it was like walk of shame up to my house, and I walk in, and there at the kitchen table is my mom sitting there. Her face was clearly red from crying, and an envelope on the table that said Mr. and Mrs. Lance. When I saw this note, I was like, oh my god. Oh my god, like,
what is that?
You know? And I had just seen that cop, so I was like freaking out. Mr. and Mrs. Lance, cop, envelope, what's going on? She didn't like say anything to me. She just opened up the envelope and held up a wad of pictures. Here's the envelope. Don't mind my nails yet again. It says Mr. and Mrs. Lance. And then these pictures, which they show actually stuff that I don't want to put on camera. These are the pictures that were printed out. So I had no idea what was in the pictures or whatever, so I look at them and I'm like, oh my god. My name on Finsta was Genesee, like Hennessy, but Jen-essy. She literally opened it up, pulled out the pictures, and went,
Genesee? Really?
what do you say? So I'm just sitting there like, and she was like,
go to your room, I don't want to see you.
So she didn't take my phone from me. So I go upstairs and I post on my Finsta. I'm like,
everyone delete your Finstas. Like, there was a cop that was leaving my neighborhood as I came into my neighborhood, and my mom knows everything, and pictures of my Finsta were printed out.
like all this stuff, and so everyone's freaking out. I'm getting all these texts. It's February 10th.
Mind you, 3 days before my birthday.
So it was a really rough night, and then I texted my mom the next morning. I was like,
When do you want to talk?
and she was like,
When I'm ready.
so I think it was actually the next day. So this happened on Friday night, and then Sunday, my mom knocked on my door and she came in my room and was like,
We need to talk about this.
there really wasn't much to talk about. Like, she saw what I was doing. She knew what was going on. I couldn't lie about it. I used to be like a very good liar. I got away with everything with my lies. I went to a performing arts school and my major was theater. So like I got in for acting. I got away with a lot because of it. And yeah, so my mom was just like completely crushed, obviously, because she had so much trust in me. Backtracking to the summer before this. So this happened in February. Back in, I want to say July, I was sneaking out every single night and taking my mom's car. Like
Literally?
every night at 1:30, I would leave, take my mom's car, go to Wawa, go pick up a friend, and drive around for like 2 hours and replenish her gas. Replenish. I would literally do it every single night, and no one ever found out. It was always just,
I don't know, it was a secret.
one of these days there was a thunderstorm and I was with my friend Megan, and we were on this highway, this very popular highway called Kirkwood Highway in Delaware. A green light had just turned yellow, but the roads were slick. I could not slow down. I was going like 50, and the yellow light came up and I was like, oh my god, like what do I do? I decided to just like floor it and go through it. Right when I went through it, I saw a flash, but then followed by the flash was thunder. And if you know how lightning and thunder work, it's flash, thunder. So I was like, it was lightning. Like, it was just lightning, you know? I remember like a few weeks later, I had driven by that same intersection and I was like,
Dad, do those look like cameras to you?
and he was like,
Yeah, those look like cameras.
and I was like, no. Great. That summer, me and my best friend, Grace, went to California for like a month and a half, I think. I got a text from my mom, and she was like,
Jenna, do you know if either of your brothers have been taking my car without me knowing in the middle of the night, because I just got this in the mail. It's a ticket for this intersection.
blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
Oh my god, like that was me. Oh my god, that was me.
I texted my brothers immediately, and I was like,
Guys, please pay for it. Like, I'll just pay you back. I'm so sorry. Please just take the fall.
they were so mad at me because they already didn't have a lot of trust in my mom. I got the good grades in school. Like, I was the good kid. They were
Not.
So, growing up, I had the trust. Later on, I learned that both of my brothers were trying to talk my mom into thinking that it was me, because they knew it was me, so they were both like,
You know you have another kid that you can accuse.
and my mom was like,
No, like, Jenna would never do that.
so, you know, I had a lot of trust. The reason that I just told you that story is, on the back of the very first picture reads, by the way, your daughter was the one that got that red light ticket a couple months ago.
Great.
Great. Just great, right? Like, great. Now my mom knows literally everything. In these pictures, I'm gonna explain like some of the stuff that was exposed. That was the first thing that my mom saw, and then this is just like a picture of me and my friends at UD. This is just my account in general.
Some pictures I should show.
This is my friend Martina. This is a picture at a frat, and the caption is,
I continuously risk my entire social life by going to frats and parties my parents are not aware of every weekend, but it's super worth it.
that was a caption that my mom saw. Picture of me just like in underwear. Literally a picture, I'm not gonna show this, but a picture of like almost my bare ass. I can't believe I posted. Looking back at this now, I'm like,
Holy crap.
Like, holy crap. And guys followed my Finsta. I just didn't care. I was like,
I love yourself.
can you imagine looking at your daughter's pictures that she posted online as a 16-year-old? And then, and then that Sunday, I had to go to Burger King because my dad lives in New Jersey, so we met at a Burger King, and my mom showed him these pictures right in front of me. So my dad's just like shuffling through these pictures, like reading them, and then the worst one was this one. It's a picture of
literally my butt.
So there was one night where I left my computer open and my mom was just in my room and she saw my email was open. In my email there was an
Uber receipt.
and that's how we used to get to parties and stuff. So she saw that it was from like a road in Newark to another road in Newark. And so she confronted me and was like, Jenna, I found this Uber receipt. Your laptop was open, blah, blah, blah. And I covered it up very well and I explained it in this, which was printed out. I have no idea what happened at the beginning of the footage for this part, but basically I'm explaining one of my Finsta posts that was explaining how I got away with one of these lies involving Ubers in Newark. And it starts off with a fake name that I used for the lie.
Harry,
who's a senior in high school that always texts me and makes me feel bad and pressures me into sending him an Uber. Then she proceeded to give me a talk about scary college parties and rapey facts and all that jazz. And I played the most innocent card ever and said, my sister scared me away from college parties and I'd never involve myself in any of that. She 100% believed me at the end and said she's glad I have a good head on my shoulders. Little does she know I'm hitting up Theta Chi tonight, just not with my Uber. Sad face. Basically, I just completely disobeyed my mom in every single possible way. I didn't care. I just did not care about what I was doing, and I was posting it all over social media, and I think that's what made my mom the most upset, because my mom was definitely wild in high school and college too, and so obviously like her daughter's gonna be the same way, right? Like, apple doesn't
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
I still struggled to say that the second time. So basically, that's what happened. That is me getting in trouble. I was grounded for 3 months after that. I actually was depressed for a while. It was really bad because, you know, I went from being this crazy party animal with everything to do all the time, always with my friends, to just doing nothing and like didn't have my phone for a month. And shout out Emma Hancock for giving me her old like iPhone 5S or something that she let me use, and I just used that as like an iPod. And I also had my old iPhone 4, so I still had my necessities.
honestly.
Once this shock happened, I was like, okay, everyone, I need to figure out who did this to me. That is the most important thing right now, is figuring out,
Like, who has it out for me this bad?
someone like wanted me to get in this much trouble, and I was like, okay, either it's someone that cares about me enough to be like wanting me to not get in trouble or not get hurt or something, or it's someone that absolutely
Hates me.
So I was like, the way I went about figuring this out is I will show one that isn't that bad. I also wanted to mention that this Mr. and Mrs. Lance, this confirmed that it wasn't the cop, that was just a coincidence, but this was the first hint towards who it could be, because all of my close friends and pretty much everyone that knows me knows that my parents are divorced. So my mom is actually Miss Meredith and I live with my stepdad, so it would be Mr. and Miss Meredith, or Mrs. whatever. It would be Meredith, it wouldn't be Lance. So whoever this was that did this to me did not know me well. So I'm not gonna show the picture, and I don't think these two people would care, but so this is what they looked like. You can literally, oh my god,
My nails look so good.
so you can see that, I don't know if Instagram even does that anymore, where it shows like two names that the person follows that liked the picture. The way I went about figuring this out is I noticed there's this girl, Skylar, that followed my Finsta. Her name came up
A lot.
in these pictures. So what I did was,
Okay, I'm gonna try to explain this correctly.
if Skylar's name was showing up in these pictures, that she liked my pictures, that meant that Skylar followed my Finsta and this person followed Skylar. I went on to Skylar's followers and she only had like 60 followers, so it was easy. And I scrolled through them and I narrowed it down to all of the people who had ever followed me on my Finsta. Finsta. Like, not at the time, just ever. The list was like 11 people. So I was like, wait, this makes it so easy, and this is like definite. Like, this is something that can definitely confirm this, at least whoever screenshotted them from their phone. 7 of those people were in the same friend group, who I don't think any of them have it out for me. Like, I actually hung out with them. One of the kids in the friend group was one of like my best friends, and I remember like interrogating him and being like, oh my God, you definitely did this to me because you're looking out for me. You don't like that I go to UD anyway, da 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 da. The whole other friend group, like, I reached out to them. I was honest with them because I didn't think that they did this to me. And I was like, hey, and I told them what was going on, and literally all of them responded, and they were like, I'm sorry, Jenna, that this happened to you, but like, I definitely, like,
It wasn't me.
and then to one of the girls, I gave her 3 other names that were on the list that had followed me, and she was like, oh my God, it's definitely Leslie. Okay, so Leslie isn't her name. I'm not gonna say her name. I'm not gonna go there. But I'm gonna say her name was Leslie, the girl that did this to me. So she was like, Leslie would definitely do this to me. She did something similar to me back when I was a freshman. Leslie took a video of this girl when she was like blacked out and sent it to the girl's dad. There was no reason, I think they were friends. So I was like, okay, she's definitely a candidate. I asked my brothers and I was like, did you guys by any chance see anything? We have cameras at my house, but they weren't recording at the time. So that was very handy for me, right? Like, really handy. I mean, at first when this all happened, I was like, I'll just look at my cameras. Then I told my brother to look, and he was like,
there's nothing.
The kid rang my doorbell, and my brother said that he saw a kid ring the doorbell with a hoodie on and then run away into a white car and leave. And so I was like, okay, white sedan.
It was a sedan.
Which is like a small car. A lot of people don't know that. I didn't really know that either, honestly. I thought it was a brand or something, but a sedan is just a small car.
That's what he saw. So then I was like, okay, if he saw something, maybe I should like talk to my other brothers and see if they saw anything. Then I reached out to my stepbrother Kyle and I was like, did you see anything? Da da da. And he was like, actually, I did see a white car like slowly driving around the neighborhood, and I saw the kid's face in the car because I just like walked by the car, walking up to the house, and the kid like looked up at me. So I saw his clear face, and I was like, oh my God. Okay, so then once I made the connection between Leslie and knowing that she had a boyfriend, I was like, oh my God, I just need to confirm this with Kyle to see if that's him. Also, I had done Leslie's friend's makeup before. So she had been to my house. She knew where I lived. That's the reason that she knew exactly where to go. And, okay, well, the reasoning for why she did this to me is still unclear to me, but. So then I made the connection of Leslie and her boyfriend, and I posted the handwriting of this note on my Finsta because I was still very active on my Finsta. I was like, you know what, it's already been bopped. I don't even care at this point. Whatever, my life sucks. My grades dropped. Everything sucked. It was awful. It was an awful time in my life. I was like,
I don't even care.
I posted on my Finsta the handwriting. People were like, oh my God, that looks like, I'll say her boyfriend's name was Dom. So once I made the connection between Dom's handwriting and Leslie, was Leslie her name? Did I give, okay. I showed a picture of Dom to Kyle, my brother. I was fairly confident, but that was the confirmation. And I was like, I was nervous. I was like, was this him? And my brother looked at the picture and he was like,
Huh, wow, that does look like him.
and I was like, oh my God, I'll show you more pictures. I followed Dom. I followed him on Instagram, so like it was easy for me to find pictures. The next picture I showed to him, he was like,
That's him, 100% him.
and I was like, oh my God, wow, amazing. It was like 4 days of investigating this and figuring it out. So then like I posted on my Finsta and I was like, guys, I'm going live in 30 minutes and I'm gonna tell you guys all who exposed my Finsta. I made it like a huge deal. I never confronted her. I never did anything because I heard some like scary things about, you know, just like stuff that has happened before with them. So I was like, you know what, I'm just not even gonna mess with that. I don't even have beef with her anymore. Like at the time I was literally like, I wanted to kill her. Now I'm just like, I'm over it. It happened. It made me and my mom so much closer. So it's not even something that I look back on and I'm like, oh my God, like that sucks that happened to me. It's kind of like funny that it happened. I have said like 10 times in the last 20 seconds in this video. 10 times. So I still don't know why you did this to me if you're watching this video. I really want to know why you did this to me, and I really, like, I don't have any beef against you, and I don't even know if you know that I know that you did this, but if you want to reach out to me, like, I don't hate you. I want to know why you did this to me. I really do. I do remember back in like December of this time period, there was a party that I went to, but I wasn't planning on going to. I had no idea that I was going to be going out, and Leslie texted me. Wow, that was was impressive. I never burped like that. Leslie texted me and was like, hey, do you know of any parties tonight? And I was like, no, I don't. Like, I'm not going out. And then I ended up going out and posting on my Snapchat. But that was the only thing that I could ever connect to why she did this to me.
I really want to know why you did this to me, Leslie. And you know your name's not Leslie, so.
That is the story of how my Finsta got bopped.
I remember the story being longer.
I do too. I feel like I have to add this into every one of my pictures or my videos. It's just like a trademark. Oh my god. That was my stomach. It was my stomach, I swear. I cannot believe this. This really happened to me. I got it. So, alright guys, so thank you for watching this video. This has been something that literally everyone has asked me for. Like, people that don't even know me well know about this story, because everyone was just like, oh my god, like her Finsta got bopped. Everyone was afraid that theirs was gonna also get bopped. So people still ask me about what happened, and even going to UD now, people are like, oh my god, wait, what happened with that story? This has just been like very highly requested, not for like a YouTube video, but just in general life of mine. People always ask me about this, and it's a defining characteristic of my life. I guess characteristic is not the word, but I'm gonna pretend like it is. Thank you for watching, everyone. Go watch some of my other videos. I don't even know what's gonna be up by this time. I don't know where my life is or what's going on. Finals about to start, so let's see where my life is at the time that I post this. But finals right now are about to start, so I'm dying. I have lived through an entire summer and I'm now editing this. I love you all. Deuces! Bye! Hair looks wow. Her boyfriend, oh my god. There's Tommy. I don't know if you can see him. I don't know if you can see him, but I'm gonna hug him with my hand.